Good evening, good afternoon, good Memorial Day. It's Wei T. Lightheart in the Prosperity Health Alliance. I'm joined by my comrades in arms today. Of course, it's Memorial Day across the United States. I'm honoring the people who have given the ultimate sacrifice for us. And we appreciate all of those people and the families and the veterans that are out there today. Thank you so much for just allowing us to have the opportunity to do this business. So tonight I'm joined, of course, with two of the greatest distributors in all of Enagic. You might see this bright going in and out because we're enjoying the sunshine. It's sunny in Vancouver, so I'm just letting it shine in. Creel and Seha, we're going to talk a little bit tonight about how to turn your dreams into reality, how to turn goals into actions, how to get focused in your business with the actions that are going to allow you to grow, that are going to allow you to reach your dreams, and then how to avoid those distractions. And of course, it all comes down to one thing, and that really means leverage, getting leverage on yourself. So before we get started, we're going to go over to our guys. I want to say hi, guys. I know Seha is out there with lots of birds chirping and people stamping and stuff. He's forgotten how to mute his machine.
Happy Veterans Day, everybody.
Yeah, we always want him to mute something, but you can't shut this guy up even when he's quiet.
You know what? This is right. This is raw. This is what I love about this the most, is that we get to do this anywhere we want, and I chose to do it right here and on the Bellingham Bay, my beautiful hometown. Can't wait to get tonight started with you guys. You guys gave me the topic, and I'm like, let's do this. So I just want to say hello to everybody. Welcome to the show. Can't wait for your questions at the end. Get your questions ready. And let's do this. So, real.
Awesome. Yeah, everybody, welcome aboard. Once again, I'm stoked. I had the last couple hours to really think about what I wanted to bring forward. And every week, I think with the rest of the guys, I think about what kind of value we can really bring that we offer this. So there's not a mechanical, every Monday night we're doing this, but we really bring something new and of value. So I got excited about the topic, and I'm ready to roll.
Well, let's hit it. Let's waste no time. Let's get right at it. If we can get the full screen to pop up, and then I'll jump off and watch in observer mode, and you can just lay into it, Krill.
All right. So tonight's topic, guys, from my portion, and the guys are going to fill it out in other ways, is make a decision, tell the world, go figure it out, which is really kind of some of the motto of Eric Worre that we've been learning in Las Vegas. So, number one, make a decision. When is it your time to decide your fate? I see a lot of people, and myself included sometimes, that being in an indecisive moment, or even if you're working with somebody and you can see that they're not sure if they're going to do it, they're not in, they're not out, they're not all over the place. And when it comes to your life and really what you want to create, it's about making those decisions and really steamrolling towards the destiny and the outcome that you want. So making a decision has that power to change absolutely everything in your life, right? The terror threshold. Is it out of your comfort zone? Bob Proctor talks about this, making decisions that are big enough that you actually are scared or bring up fear, get you uncomfortable. If it's not doing that, then it's probably not a big enough decision. You're playing small. So really it's deciding how big do you want to play. Fears versus dreams. And who am I serving and who's winning? I think we all do this. Every scenario that happens, every opportunity, we think about, the good side, the bad side. We're kind of measuring it up, and within that, we come up against our own fears. I'm not good enough. I'm not going to be able to do this. Other people can do it, not me. All that vocabulary, all that inner voice stuff. And then on the other side, we have our dreams, what we really want to be doing in our world, what our life in the ultimate setting could be. And it's kind of like these scales that we measure up and down. And so often we are not choosing to fulfill our dreams, that we're actually kind of giving into fears. So who am I serving is a great question that I'm always, throughout the day, I'm asking myself, in this moment, who's winning? Who am I serving? And if it's not the team that I want to be winning, I change that perspective. I change the mindset. So indecision is the stealer of time, which is your life. And life is not long enough. And what else can you say? So making a decision, tell the world, public accountability. It's one thing to make a decision to yourself, but it's another thing to go out there and tell your friends, your community, your Facebook, absolutely spread it everywhere, because it really builds in public accountability. Leaders versus followers. Leaders will make bold statements, bold visions, bold declarations to the world, whereas followers are scared to do that. So really assessing that for yourself and that leadership and letting that really shine through. We act to avoid pain more so than versus we act to gain pleasure. And this is a real psychology point of view. So when we tell the world, we actually put ourselves in a very vulnerable position, because sometimes we will act more out of fear of being publicly prosecuted or condemned in a certain way, or not achieving that goal and kind of getting razzed around it. So we act from that motivation of not wanting to experience the negativity. If we're really advanced beings, we would actually be acting from a place of like going towards our dreams and pleasures. But so often we act out of that pain. So public accountability to tell the world kind of amps that up for us. Then it allows us to gain public support and enrolling other people into our dreams or our decision, which is a really important part of building this business forward. People are attracted to motivated action takers. You don't need to know all the answers, but somebody who's excited, enthusiastic, making declarations and getting out there and working for it, that catches people's attention. And that's the type of people we want to be around. Often we do more for others than we will do for ourselves. So when we make public declarations, we really, sometimes we know it's for the team or it's for another person, so that gets us motivating to really follow through. And creating inspiration, the teamwork is the dream work. And that's what happens with the magic and the synergy of letting other people know what your decision is. And then we want to move into telling the world. Well, let's see, skip that. And go figure it out. Action is the greatest teacher. If you're a true entrepreneur, you know this because you have failed so many times, and in that failure, you learn what not to do and what to do. So it's really through the action that our businesses grow. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers. Ask for help from people who have done what you're wanting to do. So really important. Stay committed when you get challenged. What I've noticed is when you make a declaration or make a big decision and tell other people about it, you will be tested. Whether that's karma and the universal forces or whatever happens, we will be tested in the things that we most value or honor in our life when we make a big decision around that. So staying committed, how bad do you want it, right? Coming to the place that is failure is not an option. It's moving with that kind of attitude the whole way without letting ourselves have these easy outs, which I think, steals so many people's dreams, the easy out. Things get hard, we skip it. We make an excuse. So being totally committed to that and figuring it out as you go along. Right? So I wanted to use myself as a personal example here and publicly declare a big thing. So I've been in this business 5.5 years, and we are very close to 6A3-2. And I'm going to declare that I'm going to do this by June 30th. So I basically got 32 days to make this happen. This is also my declaration that this will be the biggest financial month ever of my life. Right? And some people make more money on all this. Just for me, where I'm at, having been a tree planter for years, I lived off the grid, I did not have a business background. Basically, if I can do this business, other people can do this business. No sales background. If you had seen me 10 years ago, I had dreadlocks. I was living out of a van down by the river in the Slocan Valley. I was not where I am today. So it's really been a huge, road. And so I'm declaring the concept of ATM. I have the potential of making what I used to make yearly in a month. So annual to monthly. And that's what June's all about. And as a result, I also want to get my good friend Wade Lightheart to 6A3-3. And so in my success, he succeeds. And, Wade has been such a great friend, mentor, buddy, support in so many ways. And seeing him get to that -3 level and walking across the stage at Global Convention inspires me, motivates me, and I'm willing to work all out to make sure Wade gets there, and as a result, I'll also be winning in the process. How to do it? I need 25 sales in one last position, and if you're familiar with the 6A-2, it's 4 6As on that level, and I got one spot to fill, and it's been a slow leg developing, and it really needs a lot of effort. So I need 25 sales in 1 month. I've attended 4 vending, having my own booths, events in the last 6 weeks. I've done 2. I got another 2. I'm enrolling the support of my good friend Michelle, who's in Hawaii. She's a 4A in the business, and I'm counting on her bringing in 5 sales, so I'm going to work really closely with her. I'm going to do 100 exposures. I kind of did more of that at the vending, but I'm going to max that out. 100 exposures, personal sales 10 to 15, 5 tokenize. When you go 6A, you're allowed 5 tokenize maximum. I still have those to work with, so that's going to be part of my game plan. I'm tracking my genealogy, what are the UConn renewals, what are the cancellations. When you're a leader going to this level or helping other people, you want to get really clear on exactly what that total is. The office does a great job supporting us, but they don't always follow those little nuances. That's really important for us. Personal purchase of an Anaspa and a K8, which will get me 2 more sales, and I'm going to get Wade's support, and he might end up with another Anaspa and a machine in the process. So based on those numbers, that's anywhere from 26 to 31 sales. That's a big month. That's a big month for me in my business. There's, some other people will do, 50, 100, 200, but for me in my business, this is a very big month. So it's a little bit scary to put this out there, and I know it's going to be like full-on massive action, but we can do it. And the secret, I'm going to hustle like crazy, and I haven't seen anything really bad happen when you work your butt off. Big why, to achieve success. For personally and for me, that would be a really awesome new leadership level, showing others what's possible. I'm enrolling friends and people and new business partners into this program all the time, and when we achieve new levels, we allow other people to see what can happen. And in order to get other people to 6A 2-3, we got to get there ourselves first. So this is a really big validation of this business, of this team, the PH Alliance, and of the leaderships here. And for living my dreams, this is part of the long-term vision of where I want to be in the next few years. So it's another big step along the way. And as we all know, the gold standard is a magic. So that's make a decision, tell the world, go figure it out. I've used myself as my own personal experience. And yeah, let's do it in June. Back to you, Wade.
Always amazing work. Krill, by the way, for everyone who knows, is probably the most organized guy on the team. And I learned a lot from his organizational skills, also his commitment to the details. If you haven't checked out last week's presentation on financing, you definitely want to do it. In all of the magic over the 9 years I've been involved, it was the best presentation I've ever seen. So thank you so much, Krill.
Yeah.
And one of the great things, and I want to encourage everybody out there to recognize this, at some point, you stick around with this business long enough and you keep working, you'll have someone like Krill in your business pushing you up, or someone like Siha pushing you up. And when you hit those higher ranks, I want to be clear about it, it's because of the collective effort of everybody on this organization. And that's why we do these calls, because it's our way of giving back and our way of setting a course direction to help you go through those difficult stages, go through those challenges, overcome those fears, because that's what's going, when you get over to this side, you'll know that it's worth it. It's absolutely clear. And speaking of someone who knows that it's worth it, we're going to go over to Siha, who's sitting in a beautiful balcony overlooking the ocean, sipping his Kangen water, sitting at the computer, making deals, having fun, and he's not paying rent. He doesn't have an office. He doesn't have an overhead. He doesn't have a bunch of employees. He's not leveraged to the max like he was when we met 8 years ago. He truly is living the dream. Siha, tell us a little bit about what you want to share with us tonight.
Well, I'm living the dream with my friends, you guys and everybody in the Kangen family. I love you guys. This is what this is all about. It's about, doing what you're passionate about, doing what you're with compassion as well. And you guys are among the best. So thank you guys for being here with me, and everybody in the Kangen family, and everybody that's going to sign on with the Kangen family. I want to thank Creel for what you just shared with me there and shared with us, because those are big words. When you publicly say I do, you know, it's like when you're getting married. You're telling the world, I'm going to be, I am 683-2, and that's scary. And for you to be able to do that, I commend you on that, and I think everybody should do that too. You know, that you should own yourself. You should own your dreams. You should own your passion, and that's the only way you're going to get there, because nobody else is going to own that more than you. So, Creel, thank you so much for that. Wade and I, you know, when we started, I said some crazy things to you, you know, and they just seem to just come to fruition sooner or later. We were talking just earlier before.
Did we lose you, Siha? I think you just blew up with joy. So somehow we're losing the audio here. Do you have the, can you hear things, Krill? For whatever reason, I can't seem to hear in the audio files anymore.
I had mine on mute, but I think Siha has lost it.
We'll move along, since Siha is he's lost in the bliss of enjoyment. I'm sure he'll come back and join us at some single point. Is it possible to go over to switch over to my main screen, Kim? Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to get, oh, there we go. Show my screen, there we go. If I hit it too soon, I lose the... So Siha, we lost all your communication. Can you mute yourself? There we go. Perfect. So guys, very exciting times. We're going to talk about some principles of goal setting in Enagic, and hopefully we'll get Siha back on the line when he gets back into a thing. And when it talks to public declarations, all of us are going to run into some challenges when we make those public declarations. So we want to move past that and just keep on moving. So anyways, that's okay. Remember, it's okay to make a declaration. It's okay to go out there and take the risk, because there really is no risk. You know. So anyways, 5 principles of goal setting in Enagic. And if you notice, by the way, I put 6843 because I want to go 4-3. That's my goal. That's my public declaration. We're very close to that as well. So there's 5 things that I call it the 5 Fs. And that's focus, faith, follow up, follow through, and figure it out. And Creel touched on the last one at the end. But in today's world, with all the digital distractions, with everything that's going on, believe me, these are very, very important principles to integrate into your business, because if you don't, it becomes very difficult to have a successful business. So let's talk about this for 1 second. I'm going to just close this off. There we go. And then go back here. Thank you. So number 1, you got to set your long-term vision. What I would suggest everybody does, and I learned this principle way back in my bodybuilding days. I talked about it another time, as what I call reverse engineering. So you want to take yourself out into the future to where you want to be, where you want to see yourself in this business. Is it, you know, for me, I see myself, you know, making through this business, you know, $250,000 a year passively without me. That's 6825. That's a $250,000 a year. It's actually about $350,000 a year minimum passively, right? 6825, and then all that. That's just the passive side of it, plus continuing to sell distributorships, you know, plus. So that's my long-term focus, you know, and that's where I'm seeing that. The reality for me to do that, I'm looking at 2020. So, you know, so if you go back to where I started in 2007, that's a 13-year vision. So it doesn't matter if it's 10 years or 5 years or whatever. I think a 10-year vision is definitely something that you definitely want to look at, because, I mean, if you want to make great income in anything, 10 years, doctors, lawyers, engineers, whatever it happens to be, you need about 10 years. So set a 10-year goal. Next, set a medium-term goal. Focus on maybe 3 years or 1 year, what you can do in that time, and set that goal and get really clear about it. And then, this is where a lot of people fail. They have the big, scary dream, as I call it, the one that makes you go, oh my God, I don't know if I can ever do it. But they don't break it down into like little short bursts, little focus, like little 90-day action plans. So you set, all the big corporations in the world go by quarters. So set your goals by every 90 days. We got another quarter coming up in 30 days. But you can start that right now. You can start planning on that right now. And set what you want to achieve in the quarter. Set the rank. Set how many appointments that you want to get. Set how many distributors you want to talk to or work with or whatever it happens to be in your organization. It's going to change as you go up the levels, but that's really what you've got to bring it down to a short term, because after 90 days, your brain can't focus on it. Then set your monthly goal. Go back to what are you doing in the next 30 days. So right now, it's an all-out sprint. Krill and I are going to get together. It's an all-out sprint. We got a plan a month and a half ago with Siha. I'm going to work with one of his groups that's key to him going to the next level, going down to Richland. Can't wait to see you guys. It's going to be exciting. I know Amanda and Vijon, they're focused on their goals. So each person in the unit, and then from that position, you got focus and you got momentum, and you're seeing who are the people in your group that are really pushing and who are really growing, and it inspires not only yourself, but it inspires your teammates, and it inspires everybody in the business. So be the person that you want to sponsor, in other words. And then set your weekly activity schedule and try and keep it as routine as possible. Do the same things over and over at the same times, and believe me, it gets a lot easier. It gets you away from that overwhelmed focus. If you don't set, like, get up at the same time, eat at the same time, do your lunch at the same time, set your meetings at the same time, set it at the same time. That way you're not thinking about those decisions, because that takes away from your decision-making schedule. And then here's another thing. You need to focus on IPA, income-producing activities. And what that means is a lot of people are worrying about their website. A lot of people are worrying about their business cards. A lot of people are worried about their brochures, or, what's the deal on the 11.5, or what's the, all that stuff. At the end of the day, you need to know it, or you need to have it, but it's not income-producing activities. Income-producing activities is getting exposures and then taking people through that process. That's it. You've got to get as many people exposed to the water, to the business, and you need to, and they're not going to buy in just one exposure. They're going to need 8, 9, 10, 12 exposures to buy. Okay, and that can happen over a week, that can happen over a month, that can happen over 3 months. But the bottom line is you've got to get as many people in the hopper as possible, so you've got momentum and you're not hanging on to the one guy that's going to buy in, November 2026. Don't let some slowpoke slow you down. So, faith. That's the next thing on the list, faith. Build a story as to why you're going to succeed. Why are you going to succeed? Tell me the story why you're going to succeed. Tell me the reasons why. Tell that story to yourself every day. You got to believe that story. And the more that you tell your story, the more that you tell that belief, the more that it starts to anchor into your brain, and your brain starts to see the thing that you're doing. But if you don't tell your story, if you don't say it, if you don't make those declarations, you start losing faith. Faith is the power that moves mountains. Faith is the power that got people to this country. Faith is what made those memorial soldiers that we're honoring today run at the bullets. That's faith. Faith in what they were doing. Belief in what they were doing. And yep, some people will give up their life. You will not have to die to be successful in this business. Okay? Here's the thing I also recommend about faith. Study the biographies of people who have succeeded despite the odds. And every person that's successful that you've ever heard of has succeeded despite the odds. So read their biographies. Find out your mentor's story. Like, ask them the real deal. Not what's all shiny good. Tell them the real story. Go meet them after a meeting or after a thing and ask them questions about their story. Tell stories of success of yourself and others. So tell stories about, the other day I heard about a team where guys went 682 in 45 days, and someone went 6A 5 days. And you know what? It's happening in my organization now. I can't believe it. If someone's going to go 6A in a day, it's amazing. Now, those don't happen all the time. I know someone that took them, 5 years, and I took a guy that it took him 5 years to go 6A, and now he's going 2-3. Guy I know in the business, right? 5 years to go 6A, and it's taken him 2 years to go 6A 2-3. That's the power that things change. So it doesn't matter where you've been, it's where you're going that matters. You need to practice your story with everybody all the time. Tell your story. Tell your story. Eric Worre talks about this. Tell your story with music, with videos, with pictures. Get feelings. Whatever your modality is, it's got to have emotion. You got to have juice in it. You got to feel the power in it. You got to be excited about it. You got to high five. You got to celebrate your success. So many people I've seen, make a sales record or make a big sale. They don't celebrate. They don't party. They don't enjoy it. They don't anchor that they're great, that they're amazing, that they're doing business. I mean, everybody in this business is amazing. It's an awesome thing. The other thing is build a relationship with your higher power. You gotta have something outside yourself. Cynthia Vigante told me her biggest secret is she says a prayer before she talks to anybody. She has a whole prayer that she goes through before she walks across the room, and she's walked up to presidents of the United States in the room and pitched them on the business. That's power. Not her power, it's a higher power. Next, third S, follow-up. Make your list of contacts. Hit your 25 texts a week to start the week. Follow it up with an email to those people. Follow it up by a phone call until you receive at least 5 no's for every step in the business. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. 5 no's. The average salesperson stops at 5 no's, yet 66 or 4 no's, and 60% of the sales out there are after the on the 5th no. 60%. So if you haven't gotten to 5 no's, take whatever you are in your business, take your whole business, okay, and imagine if you've gone to 5 no's with everybody you talk to, you'd have 60% more business. 60%. Is that worth it? Of course it is. 60%, 5 no's. You got to get immune to the no. You got to see no is getting closer to that number 5. You got to get 5 no's. I had a distributor today. She said, she was saying, this person's kind of, they were going to get it. You're going to get financing. They're kind of chicken out. I don't know what's happening. And I said, what number of no are you at? She's like 3. I'm like, you got 2 more to go. Keep going. Keep going. Next, ask questions. Ask questions, listen, move to the next step, right? That you always are asking questions. Ask questions instead of telling. So once you tell your story, then you ask questions. And then you relate a story and you listen to their stuff. And then you ask another question. You move them to the next step. What are the 3 steps? Step 1, you got to invite them. Step 2, you got to get them to a presentation or do something online. And step 3, you got to close. And here's what you're going to have to do. They're not going to buy on the first time. You got to loop. You got to loop around. You got to invite them to the next meeting. You got to invite them to the next presentation. Then you got to go for the close then. Doesn't happen. You loop again. You invite them to the next presentation, the next meeting. You do another presentation. You go for the close. You loop again. You got to do that 5 times. 5 times, and guess what? You will be an all-star. You will do, there's nothing that can stop you. Nothing that can stop you. Follow through. Well, after you follow up, you got to follow through. You got to get the sale. You got to, whether you got to go out there, I can't tell you how many people blow the sale because they let the person fill out the paperwork on their own. I've done that. You got to hook up the machine if they're in your local area. If they're not in your local area, you get on the phone, you get on Skype, you do whatever you can. Just you got to help the hook. There's a lot of times people have problems with hooking up the machines, right? Then you got to share the benefits. You got to tell them what the benefits of each of the waters. Encourage them at their own pace. Check in each week. Check in with your team, and then ask for referrals. Ask them, who do you know that needs this? How can I talk to them? Can I help you? What do you need from me? Ask those questions again and listen. So you need to teach your distributors to follow the system. If people don't follow the system, they fail. Plain and simple. I haven't seen anybody that hasn't followed the success system, and we've created one. PH Alliance, it's all there. You just follow the steps, do the emails. I bet you there's most of the people on this email, and I hate to call people out, but I bet there's a lot of people who haven't gone through all of the emails of the first 24. We're going to relaunch this again in July. We're going to relaunch it again, the emails again, because I know there's people out there that aren't following the system. And how do I know that? Because they ask me questions that are in the emails. Next, invite people to this webinar. We should have 1,000 people on this webinar every Monday night. We don't, not yet, but we're going to. We will have 1,000 people on this webinar at some point in the future. I don't know when, but the reason is we'll get more people in your business and happening. We're here to work for you. We're here to work with you. You've got some of the top guys in the organization, Seahawk, Creel, myself. You know, Kimmy's on the back end. We've got a top-notch team here. We want more people on the webinar. We want you on the webinar. You know, do something amazing. We're going to get you on the webinar. You got to invite people to business meetings. People will make business decisions. If you're all stuck on the help, invite them to a business meeting. Might be surprised what'll happen. You got to stay focused on each step, and the outcomes take care of itself. Don't worry about if they say no. Don't worry if you mess something up. Don't worry if something didn't go wrong. Don't worry if someone didn't buy. Don't worry about any of these other things. Just keep going back and loop and loop and loop and ask and ask and ask, and eventually you will get the wins. Figure it out. Look, here's what it comes down to. Find out what you need to know, and you got to figure out how to do this. You know, when I'll tell you a funny story. You know, I hired 3 different website guys to make the website for the PH Alliance, and I committed to the team to do this, okay? And all 3 of these web people failed. It's Christmas time. It's literally December 28th. I got no website. I committed that I was going to have a website for the team on January 1st. So it's 10 o'clock at night. And I'm in New Brunswick, Canada. It's freezing cold out. I'm sitting with my laptop. My parents are upstairs asleep. I'm down visiting for the holidays. And I go, I got to figure this out. And I start looking online about easy websites to build because I made a commitment. I made a public declaration. And I went through a bunch of websites. I tried one. I worked a little ways. I screwed it up. I couldn't do it. I went to the next one. I didn't like it. I went to the next one. I think I went through about 5 websites till I'd find one, and I started working in this one. And each little step got along. And you know what? At 4:30 in the morning, I finished the website, and that was the foundation of the PH Alliance website. Now, I'm not saying it's the best website. I'm not saying it's the greatest website, but we got a website, and it works. So figure it out. And that was a big paradigm for me. I was terrified to do that. And then find a person or program to teach you, whoever it is. I'm going to seminars all the time. There's a lot I don't know. I just keep going. I go see Ty Lopez. I go see Brendan Bouchard. I ask my business partners, Matt. I ask Seehaw. I ask Krill. Today I was calling everybody in Enagic because we got a big order going through. So I'm calling Go. I'm calling Donnie. I'm calling Mr. Higa. I'm calling Cynthia Brigante. I'm calling everybody, because we need something to happen, and I don't know who's going to figure this challenge out, and we're going to make it happen. I'm just going to keep calling until I get right. So you focus on your business, you focus on increasing your sales, but most of all, you focus on your dreams. Don't let anything get in the way of your dreams. And with that, we'll go back to the main page, see our gentleman, and we'll start taking some questions, guys. So can we pull up the big screen with all 3 people? That would be awesome. So you guys can turn your videos on. That'd be awesome. So let's go over here. Anything you guys want to add? Guys? Nope. Cool.
Excellent job. Thank you, Wade.
All right. So great. So let's see. Go for some questions here. No questions? Oh, this is great. I love that.
While you're looking at questions, Wade, just want to let everybody know, June 11th, we're going to have a party at my place. 4 to 11. It's going to be a PH Alliance party celebration. We're calling it Love Your Life Party. And it's also an opportunity to bring people who aren't in the Kangen water world to it, and kind of just introduce them to the community, so a little like networking and so forth. So this is a really important factor. It's just not for Kangen people, but it's for like building community, and it's a really nice way to introduce people and a kind of a soft introduction to what we've got going on, and people will be trying the water, having fun. It's a alcohol and drug-free event. So love your life party, bring a potluck thing, and join us. We'll have a poster out in the next 2-3 days.
That's awesome. Theo, can you want to add to that? I know we kind of lost you as you were touring around in
You know what,
patio.
guys? You guys are professionals, and that's why I love you. You know, it was chirping outside, and and things weren't going. So you know what? I moved it in. You guys.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much, Ziha. So what we're going to do is, if we got no questions, yep, I don't see any questions. You guys see questions? I don't know if that's just me but I don't see any. So with that, we'll wrap it up real quick tonight. Short one. It's Memorial Day. You know, we want to thank all those people that made the ultimate sacrifice so that we can live in the kind of place that allows us the opportunities. And the good news is we're taking those opportunities with the Magic all around the world. I mean, think about it. I mean, this all started from a guy who was a 5-year-old kid who was in bombed out Okinawa, Mr. Oshiro, that had a dream to connect the world because a U.S. GI soldier handed him a chocolate bar when he was told that those guys were going to eat him. And that changed his life. And he never forgot it. He never forgot what an act of opportunity, an act of kindness, an act of service can do out there. When you realize that when you're taking this magic around the world, you are not offering someone just health and business opportunity. You are offering them a chance to reach out and connect, to unify. It's sharing true health with compassion, one family at a time. And it's going all around the world. We're transforming the planet. We're transforming people's lives. It's good for your health. It's good for the environment. It's good for your business. And when people have something that is valuable and they feel good and it changes their life, you create a connection. It doesn't matter about class. It doesn't matter about age. It doesn't matter about background, sociology, language, nothing. It's the language of the heart. It's Prosperity and Health Alliance. That's what we're all about. It's business with a heart. And I feel like I'm the luckiest guy in the whole world, because I got some big-hearted guys right here by my side. I want to thank you guys for joining us. I want to thank you for going out there, making the declarations, taking the no's, taking the hits, doing whatever, because at the end of the day, it's worth it. Go tell the world.
Love it. Let's do
I'll
this.
add to convention.
Yes.
See you there. We've got.
By the way, we won't be back next week, so catch us in 2 weeks. Have a great time.
See you guys.
Love y'all. Love you guys.